Okay, so forms are something we see quite a bit on the web, right? That's how we can input data into a database, right? So for example, if you go to Facebook's homepage, you're going to see forms all over the place. If you want to make a Twitter post, you're going to see a form to enter your post. And if you're going to edit your LinkedIn profile, for example, again, you need to edit through forms. So forms are kind of our gateway into a database. And that's the heart of the way the web works, right? Is we just store things inside forms and then view them later in whatever way we want to view them. So let's address these forms really quick, and we'll use Bootstrap to help us make this look a little bit nicer. So we can go back to the Bootstrap website as a reference and click over here and see forms. And we can read about how they handle forms. So we'll look into this in a little bit more detail later, but for now, all we really need to do is just add a few classes to make this look good. So we're going to go ahead and add this form group class to group some of our fields and labels like they have grouped here. And then we're going to add this form control class for any of these inputs like that. So let's do that now. So we need to find this particular page. And this, if we look at the URL, it says post/new. So if I go into my views now, you're going to start to see how this is all correlating together. If I go into views and look under posts, there's a new file there. So that's how we know they're connected. Now inside here, I don't really see any form inputs, but it is saying render form here. And this is what we call a partial. So we can separate our HTML into different files for better organization. And we know that this is a partial because right there we see form with an underscore. That's the naming convention for it. Again, we'll explore more of this in detail later. But here we go. This is our form for adding blog posts. So what we're going to do is just right here we'll write form group because that's where the label is for the title, and there's the text field for it. And then for the actual text field, so we're talking about this particular field here for the title, we'll add another Bootstrap class like this. We'll do form control because I believe that is what they tell us to use, right? So right there, form control. So we'll do the same thing for the body fields. We'll do form group and then add comma class colon form control. And then we can save that and look at our progress. And there we go. It is full width, and we could deal with that, but for now we'll just leave it as it is. At least it looks a little bit better than it did before, and these widths are now consistent. You'll also notice that this is mobile compatible, so you could go to this address on your mobile phone if you have a smartphone, and you should be able to see this looking fine fitting in your phone's browser. Let's just address this button right here and make it look more like a default Bootstrap button. We can do that again by doing something like this. Form group for the button. And then we'll call this button submit. Or how about we call it add post just to be a little bit clearer. And then we'll do the same thing, class, and this time we need a button class from Bootstrap. So we'll do button, and we'll use their button success class to get that green look. So now I save it, and I go back and refresh, and there we go. So now we have a fairly decent looking and fully functional blog to some extent. I mean, we can add posts now if we want. And then we can view all of our posts here. We've got a nice big title and so on. So we've got some decent functionality. Let's just do one more thing to kind of complete this practice app. What we're going to do is add some dates to it, because as we know, if you look up some blogs, you'll see that oftentimes blogs have dates stamped on their actual posts. For example, it's really small here, but if I zoom in, you'll see there's a date right there. So every blog post often has, a date showing next to it. You've got a title, a body, and a date. So just for kicks and just to explore, a little bit more about Rails. We'll do that next, and we can do that pretty easily.